Okay. Today's date is the 23rd of April, 2026. The time now is 2:10 a.m. This video is gonna be on the Eastern Security Network, uh, network, uh, uh, police, architecture as infrastructure. So I need this to be formalized via community order or how. So uh I'm not gonna be doing I'm not gonna be okay. I'm gonna be speaking English right now. So because I want to address security and welfare in the Eastern region. So from basically basically it's not there's nothing basic about what I'm doing here. So I'm returning to today I have sent I've got a new letter of insolvency issued to my current address, which is in Ilford, 7 Raymond Road, in Ilford, and I'm going to return to Nigeria after I dissolve my embezzlement, claim. So I'm gonna be trying to sort out my housing situation first, but the housing is free, so that's the right for me to get housing. So I'm gonna solve the housing. Yeah, my housing is so gonna be sorted out by the local authority, which is the Revenue Council, and by Monday I'm speaking to my care coordinator to give me independent property in the community. Whether the independent property be in Redbridge, I have to go and see it. So by Monday, that's my diary. But about this video is going to be on the Eastern Security Network. So Eastern Security Network. The Eastern Security Network is an insurgency. Now they're the police. I make the rules now. So now they're the police. You're gonna have community, the community, which is 3 of us. So it's a trilateral system, and you got the law, which is bilateral, and you got or EG, which is unilateral order. So Oha Iwu EG is the governance framework for open access. Oha is spelled O for Oscar, H for hamburger, A for alpha. Iwu and literally translates to community. Iwu is spelled IW, Indigo West Umbrella, and it's literally translates to law in Igbo. And EG is translates to order. Indigo, Jam, Indigo. Jam is a word. I don't know. It translates to order. I'm going to focus on the police here as part of the organization to do with security and welfare. So I haven't really written down the policies here, but I want the police to go anywhere and everywhere in the constitutional framework for security and welfare. So I want them to free to go around anywhere, and that's I'm talking about the Eastern Security Network to deal with challenges about things that are you don't know it's a police officer there, but it's someone that can deal with the case. So it's really decentralized and decentralized and distributed. Decentralized and distributed. So the police are as law as part of the community, as part of being part of the community, allowed to go anywhere and everywhere in the public domain. So secondly, so let me think about the policies I want to involve. Because the police, which is it's a trial system, so anyone, so A is a police officer, someone has to go anywhere. But by going anywhere, it's not just for any reason. It has to be any house. It's so they have to document anywhere they have to go. They have to go with their own cameras, with their own body cams, with their own governance, things that collect evidence, because that's part of being part of the community. The police are, it's not a job per se. They have to carry a system. If a police officer doesn't carry the equipment or can't be identified as a police officer, then there's no point going. Doesn't matter if it's secret service police, because they want to protect your interests. The locals tend to like the army that goes abroad and doesn't know who the enemy is. It's going to be useless system. Think about it that way. So the OHA protects the police by ensuring that they are collecting evidence and document the realities of security and welfare, and based on the OB Nexus human rights framework, because security comes first primarily, so you can get stability, not the welfare. So this matter what is a human violation. Security is basically the go. So the police will have body cameras. They will have diaries. Yes, you guys you gotta have diaries. You gotta have verbal diaries. Every police gonna have a verbal diary, and we're gonna have that. But once I sue people, I'm going to build all these things I'm talking about. But so the verbal diary is like you gotta dictate. Whatever you say, you're gonna be logged into your police record. So you can have a police record. So it's like a personal journal of whatever you say and whatever anybody say. Because even having a conversation to it, so you can have less human relation. Because I'm doing kind of human relation in the system. So I'm gonna go to Navy and study governance, but I want that to be police there to view how. So when you're being part of the community, you're gonna have things like body cameras. You're gonna have things that are allowed in the community, things that are not allowed in the community, things that are taboo. But you're going to have as much evidence as possible as part of your police database, as part of to do with kind of police misconduct and and civil misconduct, things like that, like assault. So basically, I was sorted by 9 police officers, not even 8, and it was 9 police officers. And those things are documented, but they won't bring the evidence. So because they have to bring the evidence, it's just gonna be in the system. Think about it this way. If there is police, people feel safer because people actually feel safer when there's kind of a authority there. Someone overwatching you. But if someone does something wrong, then there will be a need for action. And that's a rule. That's law. That's law. So if someone if you just go and feel safe, that's the idea I'm going to bring there. So so you get trilateral, the community, or her, and you get a rule, which is the law. Now, the law is, things like the police do with arrests, all of that. That's what the law, do with something. And, for me, I ask the police for housing. So the police should not be able to give housing, the police can direct you to housing, but, they should be able to solve resolve community matters in the community. Because I'm saying to them, it's just law. And maybe if I didn't call it to my police officers, because everything I say here can be used against me. So, it's not that the police are like, actively against you. It's just that you have to protect their interests too, because they're part of the community. They're human beings too. And if the police are robots, do you think that the police would have they'll only be law bound? And that's what I'm saying. The law will be what the also in effect. Doesn't matter if it's a computer program and not a human being. If it's a robot police, the law will be in effect. And because the law is in effect, to be a government, it's part of the government, but they don't do community matters. So it's like a Terminator, really. Because the Terminator didn't care about the community, it was not into the community. So it's like the Terminator from Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, the goal here is to have things that the police, things that identify the police are just civil servants in my view anyway. But, they're not armed forces. So they're not armed, they are not armed. But, the police, any armed police, you come to the idea of being armed, like, having a gun or weapon, having a weapon that can kill someone, the police are not that, but they can get guns. So, they can be armed because they're not armed forces doesn't mean they can't be armed, but they're armed with like, tactical equipment. So, it's just that, the lethality of the weapon is not, it's in a dosage. So, it can kill someone as well, not well, someone that's sick, but it cannot, so it's not that it's a body cam or, it's not a gun, it's not a gun, it's like a taser. But the taser is like, kind of, it's kind of, redundant. It doesn't really work if you're really, really well. if you're peak health, you just rip it off. But you gotta understand it's a process too. So it's not like they're out to kill you. It's just that they have to understand the equipment they're using, and some of them you go through training, to use it. And it's not I'm scared of the police. I'm saying I'm not sick. I tell them I'm not sick. They don't understand what that means. But the police in UK are getting better, but it's a service. It's a service. It's a slow process. It's a very slow process because it's a service. it's not a free of charge. It's not free of charge to. It's free of charge to get housing. Yeah, I know my rights. I know. I'm not the police for the section 29. But But the police have to. They don't. The police have to do those things I said. And they didn't like taking orders from me. So from Namdi, so that's what detained me. But I have a criminal record. But I'm not on police record. So I'm on the police record. That's what I'm saying. I'm on their record for this kind of stuff. But it's not a thing of this kind of. It's not because now they can see how I use it. Now they can mitigate that in my framework. So in my framework they can mitigate this kind of things. So they can go to court and say this is not what we're going to change the law, blah 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 blah, because this happened. This is small incident. But me, I know too much about the police. I've been in this country for too many years to not know that the police can do ABC. It's not about being law abiding. It's about doing the job. And they don't want to do the job. They want to do the wrong thing, and that wrong thing is literally why we have law. Because they can do the right thing, but to service, to service. They don't want to take out more than they can put in. It's a profit service, it's for profit. That's what I believe it is, because everything. What is a metropolitan organization? It's an organization. I'm running a business too. OB next, I sue the police because it's money. There's money involved for me too. I don't care about the police. They don't care about me. It's a dispute. And even if you don't understand that legally, in the kind of legal frame of things, you don't understand the kind of weight I'm vision for the police, because you get paid to do your job. You get paid, and if you didn't get paid, it's going to be part bound to the community. And the goal is to take the law and migrate that law to the community, make it more community friendly, more community integration. But, if I all I need is time. I need time to do my operations, do my work. But I'm returning to Nigeria after I declare sovereignty. So after I take the letter of insolvency to my bank nationwide, and then dissolve my then file for my get my own property, file for section 204 declaration, file for the 204 declaration. Then I will be able to be free to do my own thing. Then I'll be able to run a sovereign empire, which is called OB Nexus. But I want to do that. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't ask anybody to help me do that. So my life is taking a toll of it's not like I'm taking a toll. It's like I'm getting better. So I don't have to put money in it to the power. So basically, I don't want to say the police can't give you a housing. I want to say the police can't, basically they meant to do their job. It's a service, so they didn't have the right department for the service. So they didn't want to do the job, but because there's money involved in the service. So if you have like two services, like one for dealing with disabled people and one for dealing with police matters, police in the two different departments, then you can have a system that's bilateral, that's law. So but that's community order. So it's basically doesn't matter what it is. It's like it doesn't matter what it is. But I'm gonna say, just to quote, the goals to have a framework where you separation of concern. So this is a police service for someone that's mentally ill. This is a police, a ward institution, and this is someone that's under arrest. Different. If you can separate all of them into categories of threat, threat modeling, you can analyze the part of the data. You can analyze. You can get meaning. You can get it's easier to work with. It's easier to work with. So it's easier to work with. But I'm free now. I got my liberty. So my liberty is nothing that I'm angry. I should have lost it in the first place. I was going to Nigeria, but now they want to give me a housing. Now they want to come to terms to give me housing. Look, I'm saying I'm free in Nigeria to do whatever I want. That's my country. That's where I'm from. But you gotta understand that if you can categorize people, you wouldn't have death in prisons, you wouldn't have the killing a civil person in a prison, someone else wicked than you in a prison cell shows that you are because that's another murder, and the police can prevent that thing, prevent death, so I'm gonna having I'm gonna having cuffs, you can or like a belly band. So you have a belly band. So basically, it's basically gonna be like this, but it's gonna hold juveniles because even like juveniles, but you're gonna have you can't put a cuff on a juvenile. So I don't cuff to juveniles. I want juveniles are basically teenagers. I want people to have the belly band. But you're gonna have them the cuffs temporarily. If you cannot put the belly band on, but no, actually no cuffs, So you can have the belly band, because I don't want to put my junior. I want to put all the people that have problems. So not people not my constitution, people that are outside constitution. So you're gonna have belly bands for now, and which is like belly band, which are like the wrapping kind of in the front of you, so it's not behind your back. So if it's behind your back, you're gonna have problem, as you deform, as you grow up. So the belly bands are very important to have. But it's just take time to put on. So you're gonna have belly bands on the front and the back. So you're gonna have a system, So let me just I think to get a house. I get a house, get my 3D printer, print my print the section 204 declaration again, because I failed this time, and send it to the European Court of Human Rights. I have to do that all over again, guys. It's not even like a small thing no more. I have to get them. So so I don't want juveniles to have the Am I talking about juveniles as in? I'm going to say adolescents because I don't know what that terminology means. So I'm going to say I don't want adolescents, teenagers to be cuffed up or chained up. I don't like that. I like them to have something soft and something like the belly band, something that keeps them, so they don't get deformed or getting lacerations or cuts or anything. I want something that's sensible, So you cannot do that, So you cannot do that by law, so so that's what I'm saying. It has to be it has to be written up formally. So via OHA, public community stuff, public law, public community integration, and Iwu and a G, order. So the so mm, so if this work, basically you can decentralize and distributed governance model. Decentralize means can handle different kind of roles, tasks, paths, and distributed means you can do jobs at different intervals. You can have this kind of roles allocated to them. But it's not all financially supported. So the community can support a WU and a G. So if you have a court order, the WU can favor the community or the order. Can favor two systems. So basically it's like a triangle. So I like the inferior triangle model. So you gotta have a WU if a WU is at the top, and a G is on the left, and a WU is on the right. And the law favors the community. The thing goes to community. If it favors the order, it will be favoring the kind of the things that's order there, things that already work are in order. There's no chaos. So there's no chaos, but there's less chaotic. So I'm trying to do it all formally. But that's what I'm saying now. So I'm still learning from the real world. Like I'm 24 years old. I'm autistic, but I'm not crazy. I'm mildly autistic. I'm very. I can't be very autistic. I can't be. I mean, if I'm autistic, then God forbid, God forbid, I have the kind of stability that they have. But I have to do something with my life before I die. Come on, I've done so much things in my life. I'm only 24, and it's good to just like balance power or order. So it's basically a triangle model. It's like having a triangle. It was at the top, it G's at the right, and Oha is at the left, but you have the kind of multiplication table. So you're gonna have like force equals mass transformation, and force equals to mass transformation basically means that if a rule equals force, the mass and transformation is what holds the law on top. So basically, it's gonna be a system of resolve. You gotta try to resolve it like as one system, but there's gonna be kind of people that work together to cooperate to achieve these things. That's the goal. So Oha is I don't think I'm doing well. The police gonna have guns, gonna have the armed forces too of the police, but you're gonna have people that do counterterrorism. But just trying to deal with my case as part of the political culture. If I go back to Nigeria, they'll tell me that this government is excellent. This was excellent, but I'm doing my PhD. I'm just doing everything I want to do. This one ontological research matters. Because it documents UK life, and I know what UK life is about. I don't know. I still have got my still got my hands and feet. If I can't get my hands and feet, but I won't be able to make this video. I've been in the hospital. I won't be able to make the video because it's me. But who's to tell you that? We just in Nigeria, we just get on with it. We don't have stability. We just I'm still doesn't matter how far we go, but the goal primary goal is to have diaries, video logs, blogs, things that show our community is a community, rather than a dystopian power director struggle of stuff like that. But if the police are integrated to the community is integrated to the police, and that's what that means. I'm gonna join the police. The teenager says I'm gonna join the police. I'm gonna join the Eastern Security Network. That's what I want. I just want to join the Eastern Security Network. I just want to join the Eastern because they're the police, they're the good side. Those are what we know. But you're gonna have the armed forces. You're gonna have AK-47, all these kind of weapons, all this kind of But you're gonna be to do with counterterrorism. So, terrorism, kind of human rights for businesses. So, you have shoot to kill, gonna have all of that, but it just has to be slow. I don't wanna give the immediate, because I want my police to be a sovereign entity. That's what I want first. Let me complete that first. Then we can think about things in the system. But I'm not scared of the police. I know these people too. I can sue each and every one of them. Each of them, because they know. They look at me. I look at them. I'm saying, I know what you're like. They know what I'm like. That's why you don't like me. That's why we don't like each other. That's why we don't get along. I asked you for house. I didn't ask you to tame me. I asked you, it's the law. You know the law. They didn't tell me everything, I found them, they didn't tell me everything you say wrong because you Christian code. I mean, they could have said that I was getting detained, yeah, but they didn't say that because they doing something wrong. It's psyche. It's basically psyche, and if you know the law, you know you done nothing wrong, and it just becomes psychological. Until they say you don't have capacity, until them impale, that's why I know, because they don't want to do nothing, because the service, it's a service you get. It's a service you get. That's why I can ask for housing, and that's my right under Section 29 of the Equality Act 2010, because they classify me, yes, police classify me as disabled. Yes, they classify me as disabled, and that's what I'm saying. They have to do their job, and they don't want to do their job, So, if the police cannot give you housing, then what's the point of all of this? You know what I'm saying? They had one to do and they didn't want to do it. They had one job to do and didn't want to do it.